Hi everybody, it's Laura from Green Tree, and today we're talking about DIY body care. These are things that you can make at home by yourself, or if you want to, today I'm demoing how to do this until about 6 o'clock, and you can come down and make your own here without having to buy all the supplies. So we are going to have two different options today. Leaning over to get it. We're going to have little spray bottles where you can make a room mist or a body spray. These little guys will be $4.99 for a custom mix. Hey Trinity, how are you today? And these little guys, we can make roll-on perfumes, and these will be $3.99. So I'm going to kind of explain how these work so you can see how you could make them at home, or what we'll be doing if you decide to come down and participate this afternoon. So when you're making a scent, in this case we're using essential oils. Essential oils are a way to get a scent into your product without using phthalates or synthetic fragrance. So this, for example, is rosemary. This doesn't want to focus. Oh well. Well, this is rosemary, and this is an essential oil. Essential oils are the concentrated oils of a plant. They are either pressed out or distilled, and there is nothing else in this except that intense concentrated oil from the plant. But you don't typically want to put this directly on your skin. Oh great, well I'll see you then, I'll be here till 6. You don't want to put essential oils directly on your skin because almost all of them can irritate, and some of them can be genuinely uncomfortable. So when you're going to make something like the little roll-on that I showed you, you need a carrier oil. So a carrier oil is something that carries the scent onto your skin so that you don't have just the pure undiluted oil touching you and going in through your pores into your body. So this one, for example, is Shea. Shea is a very moisturizing, very thick oil. This one would be great if you intend to carry your roll-on in your pocket for long periods of time because it's softer when it's warmer. We also have a variety of others, including almond oil, which is nice. It has a very mild, sweet scent. It won't take over your perfume at all. Or avocado. Oh, sorry, this is castor. Castor's got a little bit of a scent. It's not unpleasant. It can almost be a base note in and of itself. But I totally have avocado. There we go. So avocado is another really moisturizing oil like Shea, but as you can see, it's much more liquid. So this would be good if you're going to kind of carry it in your purse. And it doesn't have much of a scent either. We also have jojoba oil, which is pretty standard in natural body care. It's good for the skin, but it's not too heavy. So this can be nice if you are very sensitive to different kinds of oils. Now, if you're making a roll-on oil, you're probably going to want to use somewhere around 8 to 10 drops of essential oil in your little bitty roll-on, because this can be pretty concentrated. You're going to put this on your pulse points, like your wrist, your neck, places where the skin is thinner and the heat of your body can evaporate the scent out into the world around you. So that's what these little guys are going to do. Now if you wanted to make something like a mist, and this can either be sprayed directly onto the body or into the room, depending on how strong you make it and what you put in it, you're going to use, this is heavy, distilled water. So distilled water is different from regular tap water in that it has been distilled like you would distill whiskey or distill essential oils to completely purify it. There's no extra minerals or little creepy crawlies in this that can cause the oil to spoil or go off. Hi Layla. This will keep for a much longer time than if you just mix your oils with tap water. If you're not overly sensitive to it, I actually quite like witch hazel. Sorry guys, it's a habit to play with my hair. If you're not overly sensitive to witch hazel or alcohol, this is a nice thing that you can add to your little bottle to help fix the scent for even longer. It'll just keep it on your skin for a little bit more time before it starts to evaporate. And this is something you can add but don't need to. Just make sure you don't use tap water. Your perfume will end up spoiling. Now, another thing to consider when you are mixing up your custom blend, because I have probably close to 24 oils down here. I can't show them all to you, but you know, we can see we've got a pretty good variety. I've got eucalyptus, I've got clove, we've got ginger, peppermint, lavender, really a very wide variety of things. I don't want to go through and list them all off, but Some of these are top notes, some of these are middle notes, and some of these are base notes. And you want to have a blend of the three types of scents in your perfume or your spray, especially if it's a body spray. If it's a room spray, it doesn't matter as much because it's not going to be on your person sort of changing over the course of the day. But what those terms mean, a top note is a very bright, intense scent, usually citrusy or fruity, that appears as soon as you smell that perfume, as soon as you put it on, whether it's in the air or on your body. It's the first thing that you smell and it kind of pops out. An example of that, well, if I'm just leaning over the top, I'm not going to find it, but a good example would be lemon. Very bright, very fruity, citrusy, crisp, but it's going to fade within the first 30 minutes or so of putting on the perfume to just this very mild hint. Because it's more volatile, it evaporates more quickly, especially when exposed to the heat of your body, like somewhere on your pulse points or your neck. Middle notes are going to kind of round out that scent. These tend to be more floral and soft. Things like lavender or that baby powder kind of smell that you'll get in a lot of perfumes. That's something that will, sorry guys, it's semi-disconnected. Okay, sorry, I had a couple technical difficulties there. I think it's working again. So those middle notes are the softer, rounder notes. A lot of times they're very floral, and they kind of take the edge off that bright first top note, and they'll last a bit longer. They will go, you'll start noticing them somewhere between a half an hour after you put the perfume on. They'll be a lot more noticeable than those top notes. And then finally, we have the base notes. Now, the middle notes that I just mentioned, those softer smells, will kind of take the edge off these heavy base notes. Base notes are things that are very earthy and intense, musky kinds of smells, stuff like patchouli, that really will linger over the course of your wear of the perfume. Those are the ones you might even smell on yourself a day later, if you've been out and about and you haven't showered yet and you kind of give your wrist a little sniff, you'll still notice the base notes. So these are the underlying scent that will stick to your skin and keep the perfume there for longer. They also need to be softened, like I said, by those middle notes. So when you're choosing your base note, it's okay if it's a little harsher and a little bit more intense than the other scents that you're mixing it with, because it will be significantly softened by both the interaction with your natural scents and body heat and the interaction with those top and middle notes. I, for example, like tree scents, things like fir and cedar, more than I like things like patchouli, but that's me. So you have to know which ones you enjoy, put those down at the bottom, and know that at the end of the day, that's what you're still going to be able to smell. So I think that is basically what I want to cover for you today. Oh, I mentioned phthalates earlier. For anybody who doesn't know what those are, they're a chemical ester. I never feel like I'm saying that right. They're essentially something that is added to things to make them more stable, most frequently to plastics, to make them more flexible and more durable than they would be otherwise. But when you see fragrance listed as an ingredient on a body care product or in a perfume, that's probably a phthalate. There's a decent amount of evidence showing they may not be all that good for us, especially if they build up in your system. And so that's another reason that people will like to use these products that are scented with essential oils, and why you might want to make one up for yourself. So I think that's everything we really want to cover today. Oh, and in the mist, I forgot to say this, in the mist as opposed to the roll-on, this guy you probably only need about 8 drops of scent for the whole bottle. In the mist, you're going to want anywhere from 10 to say 16 or even 20 if it's a room mist and you want it to be pretty strong. So you're going to want to kind of balance out the different scents you're going to use based on which type of container you're using. And again, carrier oil, don't put the essential oils directly on your body. Distilled water, because this will keep your mix from spoiling and you won't have to be remaking it all the time. And if you really want to fix it in place and have it last longer, add some witch hazel in there to help fix it to your skin. So that's the basics on the DIY custom body care and scents. Like I said, if you want to make one, come on down today. I'll be doing this till about 6 o'clock. You're welcome, Layla. thanks for watching. And yeah, you can ask any other questions that you have here in the store, and I've got a whole range, like I said, about 24 different scents you can choose from and mix together to create your own custom blend. Or this is going to be backwards, but you can see I have a little sheet with some suggested mixes. If you're not sure exactly what you're looking for, I can kind of help you figure out something that'll work for you. So I hope everybody's having a great Tuesday, and I hope I'll see some of you guys later. Bye.